Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I'm your cruise director on the Magical Mystery Tour. Today, Revlon, their Illuminance range is probably my favourite products that they have brought out. So I've pretty much got the whole range here and a couple of other things. So let's get to it and play with them and have a look and see how they go on mature age skin. But before we get to that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Let's get playing. I have a really big makeup collection. And as far as makeup's concerned, that's pretty much all out of my own pocket. I do generate a little bit of revenue from here and that goes into it, but it certainly doesn't cover what I spend. But I do that so you don't have to. One of the things that I get asked a lot is affordable. What's great affordable range? And I keep coming back to these. Now, I've got a few different products in each category here to play, well, in a couple of categories here to play with. This is the Revlon Illuminance. We have the, oh, I've just lost the lid to that. The Moisturizer, Moisturise and Prime, which is a near bang on dupe for Bobbi Brown. I have two different primers. I have the foundation and the skin tint. I have the setting powder, I have a blush, I have a highlighter, and I have concealer and a couple of other Revlon products to go along with that. So I thought I just went down and picked up a couple of things that I didn't have because my skin's feeling really dry right about now. We are at that change of seasons where the weather's doing a hectic thing and I'm needing to up my moisturizer, and this will happen. We'll be going from inside to outside, hot to cold, you know, as we're going into heated rooms and then out into the wind. It can really affect our skin no matter what type you have. So we need to, skincare wise, we need to really change what we're doing as we learn into the cooler months. If you are watching this in the Northern Hemisphere, because I do have a lot of followers from there, sorry, keep this in mind for when you head to your autumn or fall, whichever you call it. But for us here in Australia, we are getting colder. So, yesterday we did have an unseasonably warm day for Tasmania, and I am sitting here in a t-shirt, but we have had heating on. So you can see that is super hydrating the skin. You can use this as your one and done primer should you wish. If you are using it as just your moisturizing base, don't forget, even though we're heading into the cooler months, if you're using this in place of moisturizer, put it on before your sunscreen. It can go on after your sunscreen if it is your priming step. This is one of my priming steps today, only because I'm doing it all for you, but I do have some sunscreen on already. I did moisturize my face this morning. It is afternoon now and it is starting to feel, I was starting to feel tight. So that bit of extra hydration will be really good. I'm just going to give that a minute to settle down. Okay, so that has sunk in. I'm feeling really nice and moisturized now. I have just done my brows and primed my lids while that was happening. So we have two primers here. I'm just trying to work out which I will do. Okay, so I have the Glow Primer. That is the Nourish and Glow, I think it is. And then we have the Glow Filter. You can see there is a big colour difference in the two of these products. This is more like the Charlotte Tilbury. This is more like, she had the other one. What was that? Was that Wonder Glow? This looks more like that. I've used both of them. I love both of them. So I'll use on this side, I'm going to use the Glow Filter. And this is, like I said, this is their version of the Charlotte Tilbury. These products you can wear alone, but they do work best under another product. Does this come in different shades? This is the shade Light. They'd always be light or fair. And you can see that it just evens out your complexion and gives it, as it says, a really nice glowy base without it being too much. And if you're happy just with that and you don't want to do anything else, then you absolutely can. Like, look at the difference in how it's fixing the pigmentation. Like, I have what's called trauma nose here. This is not anything that can be fixed by UV light or by niacinamide or anything that lightens pigmentation or laser. This is from having multiple surgeries on my nose, from having a very, very busted up nose. I've had 3 surgeries on my nose, 2 nose jobs, for want of a better word, where my nose has been broken, and it's first time broken, fixed. Second time, quite a significant break, like a very traumatic. My nose, you can see it's still crooked and it's got lumps. My nose was sort of like here, was busted up pretty bad from a water cooler bottle. One day I'll tell you the full story. And then that all collapsed and they had to do it again. So it's had multiple surgeries. It's dealt with a lot of trauma. I've got my ears in my nose, like quite literally cartilage. You can't even see the scar on that, I don't think. This is the other one now. So similar, but not as intense. This feels a little bit more hydrating and nourishing, and it says that it's nourish and glow, right? So it is definitely a bit more nourishing. I'm just getting this will do. So you can see it does give it a little bit of a glow, but nowhere near as much as the Glow Filter. However, if this is too much glow for you and you also like a bit of hydration, then this is really good. A little bit more, doing something I don't normally do, and that's squeezing it right on the face. But you can definitely see there is more coverage on this side than this side. And that's what we're doing with our makeup as well. Next up, I have the 2 face products. So we have the tinted serum and the foundation. These are both really, really good and right up there for me. I have the shade 217 in the foundation. I'm going to go in, I think, actually we'll go in with a brush. Work that in here. And I think this is a Real Techniques brush maybe. Just working that in. Neither of these are full coverage, but I've now got a sponge. I'm going to make this a bit more coverage. And you can see that looks juicy. And both of these do. That's the thing with this particular range, is it's the Illuminance. It's all about creating juicy skin. You can still see my pigmentation just coming through there. So it still looks very skin-like. These two, I don't have anything bad to say about these two products. These are without a doubt two of my favorites from the chemist. Going in now to this side with the tint. Okay, so we'll start with a brush. And you can see similar coverage. This is not quite as heavy, but you will get as much coverage with this one. It also has skincare ingredients in it. Oh. But it is slightly lighter weight. You can see the combination of the glow filter and that is definitely more coverage than what we have on this side. And I will do the same with this, and I'll swap this over, and I'm just going to go in with a little bit extra on this side. I am dropping all my lids of things today. Crikey momos. So, this side feels definitely more hydrated and more lightweight. Could be because this has had a chance to dry down now, so I'll wait for this to dry down to be able to compare. But it makes sense because it's a lighter weight product. And while we are waiting for that to happen, I will go in with the Illuminance concealer. This one I didn't like when I first got it. I just didn't like it. I thought that it was too juicy. It's now one of my most used. It's certainly top 3 pharmacy ones. Where it is in that top 3, I'd have to really think about it, but it's right up there. I reach for it a lot, and as I said, I wasn't a huge fan when I first wore it, but that has definitely changed. So nothing is crease proof. Like anyone that says something is crease proof, if you've got lines, it's going to sit in your lines. If you don't set your products with a powder and a setting spray, fixing spray, it's going to crease. You can minimize that a few different ways. You can prevent the split from happening, but you have to set them. If it's not set, that moisture, our body, even if we do have dry if we have dry skin, and at the moment my skin is drying out, but it will still crease over time because there is nothing setting it and holding it in place. I do like to set with a setting powder. Now, this has had a bit of a chance to dry down. This still feels a lot lighter weight than this side, like 50% lighter. This just feels like I've hydrated my face. This feels like I'm wearing product on it. I'm going to fan my face now and give it a chance to set down before we set with a product I haven't tried before. Okay, so my face has dried down now, and let's take a look at it. Truth be told, I'm looking straight ahead now into my mirror. You really can't tell the difference, can you? So in this instance, it comes down to a preference. It comes down to if you want something more hydrating in the bases, then go for this one. If you want that glow to come through, go for this. If you are married to your Charlotte Tilbury type product. This comes down to, look, this honestly comes down to a weight sensation, and if you are looking for skin, like an amount of skincare, this might even have skincare in it. I'll have a look after, but this, we'll put them on the right sides. This definitely feels lighter weight, and this I can feel, but they're both juicy and slightly more coverage on that side, but only slightly. Now I have a setting powder. As I said, I like to set. This one I have not tried. I've just taken the sealant off. This is the Illuminance Blur and Set. Can't read the rest of the words. Light reflecting finishing powder. So it's not a setting powder, but we'll just skip over that for now because I'll do a double layer, I think, if I can get into it, because they have done a price line and sealed it very well. So I'm just going, this is translucent, tapping off. That is creased under my eye at the moment. So just tapping that out. And I'm just going in lightly for now. So as I said, this is a finishing powder. So this is what a finishing powder does, is blur and diffuse. But we've got products to go on over the top of this, right? So I'm just doing my T-zone with that size brush. Then I'm going to get, oh, there's a bit of fluff there. Then I'm going to get a big fluffy brush like this. And I'm just tapping it over lightly right now. Now, if I'm using this like a setting powder, so I've gone in lightly like that so that nothing's going to grip to any dry patches that I might have. But now, and again, just bearing in mind, this is a finishing powder, so it's not a setting powder as such. A setting powder is to help lock everything in and blot any moisture. A finishing powder is about blurring. But we've done that. We'll go back and we'll do another go in a minute. Just going to, now that I've done that, is put some moisture back into it with a setting spray. This is just a W7 one that I got specifically for this phase. I don't generally spend a huge amount on the spray that I'm using here. Now when we put setting spray on, you see that I did do quite a bit then. I keep saying this in my videos. This is about making sure when you've put powder on your face that your skin is back to skinning. It is melting your makeup into your face to make it look natural and not too makeup-y. And I don't know if you can see that, but it actually looks like I'm not wearing any makeup at all now because it looks like my skin has come through. It is about putting that amount on, like setting it down and locking it in, and then putting a good soaking of spray on. And a lot of people will spray their sponges and go in. I prefer this version because you're not disrupting what's happening underneath while it is wet. Now, I don't have an Illuminance bronzer. They have 3 highlighters. I've got one here. They've got a champagne one, then a rosy one, and then a bronzy one. They're highlighters. I didn't want a highlighter as my bronzer. So I'm just going to use the Revlon Skinlights in Cannes Tan. I love this as far as a chemist bronzer is concerned. This is a fantastic powder bronzer. And I very specifically wanted to use a powder bronzer at this stage because I'm going to use cream products for my blush and highlighter, and that will cross over into this area. And you don't have to be afraid. If people tell you not to put liquid over powder, they're just not doing it right. Trying to disguise the triple chin, the aging, sagging chin. So there we are. This is a subtle bronzer. This is what I like about it. It's pretty neutral. It's not too warm, as you can see. So we have the Gel Serum Illuminance blush. I'm not sure what the shade is called. I know that the number is 110, but as far as the shade name, couldn't tell you at the moment. This is quite a small tube compared to other blushes that are on the market, but that's okay. We don't need it to be massive. So this is it here. It is a neutral mauvey shade, working it in with a brush. Now the trick to using any gel, any cream, anything over powder is work it into your brush and stamp it. Don't buff it. Don't ever buff it in actual fact, unless it is your foundation in your first step. If you stamp it, you've got a greater control of it. This is a really nice, subtle glow. Like, look at that. How nice is that? There is a really deep burgundy, I want to say. There's a peachy shade. This is the pinky rosy shade, and there's a brighter pink as well. Now, if you ever feel like you've gone too hard with it, just grab whatever you use to put your foundation on and just tap around the edges, and that'll soften it down. The other thing to bear in mind is that your final set down with your blurring finishing powder and then your spray is going to subdue whatever you've got going on your face. So don't freak out about it at this stage, because you'll find that it blends in a bit more. Going in now with, where did I just put it? The Glow Wand. Again, it's like a Charlotte Tilbury product, like everyone else that has bought them out in these. If you've seen me on here, you know I'm not the biggest fan of these applicators. And I will not put it straight on my skin. So that is it coming through. Why? I think that they can grab to your skin. Funnily enough, they don't when you use a brush. I've put way too much on here, working it into my brush, right? Really work it in, and then just tap, 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 tap. And that is just over, you can see, here's my bronzer went all the way here, my blush has gone half over it, half not, and then this is going to go on the high points of my cheeks over that blush as well. See what I mean? Like, look how glowy. And I like to do a few of the high points of my face, because highlighter is meant to highlight the high points of our face. So nose, forehead, just a little bit on my chin. You don't have to do this. That's where I like to do it. This is how I look, super glowy, people. So we're just going to let that have a few seconds to dry down. That has dried down. I am doing the Lazy Girl's eye look today. This is just a fat brush going into the powder bronzer. And just going over the lids to give it a little bit of colour. We're not doing anything insane. A bit more on this side. You can build that up as little or as much as you want. But that is my one and done for the day. Just fix that up there. If you wanted to add anything, you could add a little bit of highlighter in the corner. You don't even have to do that. And today, we're not. Are you shocked? Are you shocked that I can be this basic? I can. I swear. Just grabbing a little bit more of that underneath here. And then just buffing again. And the buffing ensures that we don't get the creases that everyone complains about under our eyes. See, it's that simple. Now, what I'm going to go, oh, actually, not yet, because what we need to do now is a final blur overlay. This is all set down, right? The point of this, the point of a finishing powder is to blur out everything, to make this look airbrushed. So with a brush, this is soft. I'm not pushing this in hard. And just wiping across everything that we have laid down. This is going to soften it. A finishing powder, as I said, a setting powder sets your makeup in place. A finishing powder finishes the look. This says that it's a blur and what was the other thing? God, I hate being this blind. Blur, oh well, it is. It's a blur and set. So this is pulling double duty. But generally, a finishing powder is about elevating the finish of your product. So it is about blurring it. It is about blending it and smoothing it all down. That's the first time I've used that. That's not bad. Now I'm going to go in now with, I don't know what this is like. This is brand new to me. The Revlon Super Fix Super Hold Misting Spray. Ultra Matte Finish. Which will be interesting because I'm glowy here, right? Ah, I thought there was continuous mist, a bit like the Morphe. I think this is being bought out to replace my favourite, which is the IRL mattifying finishing spray, which I have just been around and stocked up on while it is on clearance. Okay, drying that down. And I'm hoping it's, so look, it hasn't mattified it. It doesn't, if you've added a whole heap of glow into your products, mattifying sprays generally don't take that glow out. They will matte down the areas that needed to be, but where I've put glow, and I look real glowy because I've glowed up a heap of my face, it's going to keep that glow there. That's why I love these types of products. It's got a bit of scent which the other one didn't have. But we're essentially having a bit of a no makeup look. Because, look at it. We look healthy skinned. Now, I'm going to do my mascara. I hate tubing mascaras. I haven't found one that really makes me happy and gets me going. Until now. Sorry for the high pitch there. This is the Revlon All-In Tubing Mascara. How much have I been using it? I have had this only a few weeks, and look at that, because that is how it looks when you get it. I love it that much that I just went down and bought the brown in it. It's gorgeous. I've been using it non-stop, as I said. Because I haven't used the brown, I'm going to go in with that because we've got pretty much a no makeup look on today. This lengthens and volumizes all in one. Oh, I wonder why they called it all in. This is a much softer look than the black. And I'm not even going to try and build it up today because it does build up a lot. Just trying to make sure they're all coated. I've got a hair on the corner of my mouth. I can feel it. Okay, I think I got that hair. I just buffed my, like, tickled my face over with a brush essentially where it was because I couldn't see it. Okay, so we've got, this is a second coat now, and on this side I can't love that mascara enough to be quite honest. I have, where did I put that? I'm just going to go in, this is MAC lip pencil in Spice. Yes. Clean the foundation off. My natural colour, as you can see, is quite pinky red. Not trying to overline or anything. Just giving it a basic outline. And going in with the Glimmer lip oil, the shade 004, which is Rose, which I thought would be like, they don't really have, like, they don't really have any colour to them. So you only need one or two. You don't need all the shades because there's not enough of a difference in how they look. Maybe a warm, maybe a cool, that would be it. That says it's a lip oil. It feels, doesn't feel like an oil or a thick oil. It doesn't feel like a gloss, but it doesn't feel like an oil. Feels like a liquid balm. It's really confused me. It feels really nice. See, it's just enhanced the colour of my lip. But this is the finished face. So as you can see, my screen's over to the side. I've moved it about this week. So I can't really see it when I turn this way. I'm relying on the mirror in front of me. This has a bit more coverage in it. This allows more of your skin to peek through. I don't know if you can see that. I certainly can because I'm having a little bit of a hot flush at the moment. I'm a bit sweaty. I can feel the temperature rising on me and I can just see the glow starting to happen looking at my screen because I know my face. So it's a bit lighter. I can see a bit of redness poking through in this area here. Now that it's all settled down, this does feel a lot lighter. If you want a somewhere between the two, then pair this with this. They'll work together. But like, these products do what they say they're going to do. They create a super glowy look. I've just shown you the difference between them for your personal preference. I love both of them. I probably use this more, but I use it with, well, I use it on days that I really don't want to feel like I'm wearing any makeup. To be quite honest, when I'm going for a super lightweight look like this, weekends, you'll find me in this quite a lot, over a lot of other things, in fact. It's definitely right up there with one of my favourites. But that's where we are. That gloss, I haven't used that before. I'm not particularly wowed by the highlighter. I'm not a big fan of liquid highlighters at the best of times. And I'm really pleased I didn't dot that on my face, because I would have had concerns about it. They are, you can, I mean, I haven't gone all the way up here. I've gone here. I'm just super glossy at the moment. I'm illuminated. I'm doing everything that says, but yeah, not a fan of it. The blush is really nice for a subtle blush. It just doesn't, it's not too intense. If you're wanting to use a liquid blush, their range is really, really good for that subtlety. This is really nice. That is it. What do you think? Are you surprised that I just chucked some bronzer on my eyelid, proving that I don't always do 1,000 eyeshadows on my lid? And truth be told, if you want to add a pop colour, just pop a little bit. Actually, nope, wrong product. This product, let's see how we go. Ooh, ooh. I've put a little bit on my finger. Why am I shutting this eye? And so you can add a little bit on the inner corner should you wish, because this does dry down. You could go right across. I mean, it's not really doing much, is it? So there's that. That is it, my loves. Until next time, don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends. Come along, hang out, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm going to go and stand outside for a few minutes to cool down now. If you know, you know. I thought that I was through it, but recently it's been coming back to bite me on the backside a little bit more. Great. See you, bye. Mwah.